Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Sarvalokanam Bhije Bhavaroginam Nidhaye Sarvavidyanam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Guru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada गजाननं भूतगणाधिदेवितं कपित्तजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजं शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्ते पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकधातुं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं चैव ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Namaste everyone. Yesterday we looked at the main characters in Mahabharata, starting from Bhishma, Vidura, Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and all the children of Dhritarashtra and Pandus, right? Dhritarashtra's 101 sons, and Pandu's 5 sons, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva. And then we also looked at Arjuna's son, Abhimanyu, and we also looked at Drupada and his children, right? Drupada's children, Drishtadrumna, Draupadi, and Shikandi. And we also learned about Drona, born from Bharadwaja, and from Gautama, Krupa and Kripi, and then Ashwatthama, Drona's son. All these names we learned. And also, yesterday we looked at why all these great people were born on earth. Because at the end of, after Parashurama restored Dharma on earth, everything was good. And then slowly Asuras, because they were defeated by Indra and other deities, they started taking birth on earth as human beings. And earth asked Brahma for his help, and Brahma asked the deities to take birth, and Indra requested Narayana to take birth on earth, right? And along with Narayana, all the others took birth on earth, and they defeated all these asuras. That's what Vaishampayana says. Now, Janameja listening to this, he says, Vaishampayanaji, you explained all the key characters in Mahabharata. When I said I want to know everything, I wanted to know from very beginning. Not just from Bhishma. I wanted to know from very beginning, when everything was started, creation was started. Okay. So then Vaishampayana says, okay, if you are interested, I will tell you that as well. Okay. So what it does is he starts narrating from the very beginning, who all were created, what happened, all the things. Okay. So he started giving all the names, who was born, who, from whom, and everything. I'm not going to go through every names because it will confuse you a lot. I will just tell you some key names here. Okay. And then we will switch to something else. So Vaishampayana says, from Narayana, Brahma was born. He was born in the lotus that came out of navel. Okay, you might have seen Narayana sleeping, and then from his navel region, a lotus comes, and then in that lotus, Brahma sitting. Okay, Brahma is born through that. And then from Brahma, his spiritual sons, 6 of them were created, okay, were born: Marichi, Atri, Angirasa, Pulastya, Pulala. Okay. and Kratu. Okay, these were the ones born. So Marichi, Atri, Angirasa, Pulastya, Pulala, and Kratu. Okay, so these were born. And then Marichi had a son, Kashyapa. Okay, Marichi had a son, Kashyapa. Kashyapa married 13 daughters of Daksha. I said that 2-3 times already, right? So Daksha had 50 daughters. So 27 married Chandra. They are the nakshatras. Okay, Kritika, Rohini, Mrigashira, Ardra, Punarasu, Pushya, all these nakshatras. They married Chandra. Okay, so just to give a background, this comes in Srimad Bhagavata. Daksha is called Prajapati. Prajapati means he is the creator of Praja. That means people. Okay, from him everything was. Daksha originally had 1,000 sons. Okay, and all those sons he thought they were going to be creating a lot of people. They are going to be the start of creating a lot of people. But what happened was Narada took them and asked them some questions. Okay, about 5-6 questions, and asked them to find the answers. When they found out that answers, they realized that this world is very material. There is no use of getting married and everything. All of them became sannyasis. Okay, all of them became ascetics, rishis. Okay, they did not get married. Daksha had another 10,000 children. All of them again were converted by Narada to rishis. Okay, they also good. Then Daksha had 50 children, daughters. Okay, so those daughters, 27 of them, he married to Chandra. And then what happened was Chandra was very favorite, okay, to Rohini. He was very much attached to Rohini. He wasn't spending time with the other 26. Okay, the other 26 complained to Daksha that our husband is not looking after us. He's always with Rohini. Daksha curses Chandra, okay, that you will be without children. You will go without children. So that means that also did not work out. Okay, the generation did not continue there. He married 10 daughters to Dharma, Yama, and then he married 13 to Kashyapa. And from Kashyapa, these 13, all the creatures created. That's why Kashyapa is important. Okay, so first Aditi, from Aditi, 12 Adityas were born. Okay, Bhaga, Vaivasvata, Vaivasvata is Surya, Usha, Savitri, Tvasri, Vishnu, okay, Dhatri, Mitra, Aryaman, Shakra, Shakra is Indra, okay, Varuna, Amsha, all these. Okay, so Vishnu is Indra's brother, younger brother. Okay, they are all deities, 12 Adityas. And then from Diti, we know that Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, 2 Daityas were born. And from Hiranyakashipu, Prahlada was born, right? Narasimha Avatara. In Narasimha Avatara, we hear about Hiranyakashipu and Prahlada. And then from Prahlada, Virochana was born. From Virochana, Bali was born. In Diwali time, you will hear about Bali's story. Vamana Avatara. Okay, Vishnu comes in Vamana Avatara and suppresses Mahabali. And from Bali, Bana was born. Okay, so in this lineage, if you look here, one bad guy, one good, one bad, one good, one bad. Okay, the characters were like that. Hiranyakashipu was evil, Prahlada was good, Virochana was bad, Bali was good, Bana was bad, like that. So it is like that. And then from Danu, all the Danavas were born. There are 40 of them. Okay, they were born. And from Kala, again, there are a lot of sons. Mahabharata names about 5-6 of them. Okay, sons were born. Dhanasyu, again, they were born Asuras. They were also Asuras and they were working with Danavas. They are also considered as Danavas. Okay, so here, Vikshara, Bala, Veera, Vritra, all these Danavas were born. And then from Simika, the important one to note here is Rahu. Rahu was born. Anyone remember Rahu from our discussions? Anyone?
In the turning
Yes,
round
Yes.
was the demon king.
he Rahu and I think Rahu drank Amrita. He disguised himself as a Devata and sat on the Devata side.
Yeah.
And he drank Amrita and
Yes.
Vishnu split him in half.
Yeah. That's the Rahu. Okay. So Rahu is the one. So thank you. Thanks, Ram, Vaishnavi, Deepthi, Dhruti, Neha, Nishta. Everybody is together today, is it? Deepthi. Okay. And then we have, so from Simika, we saw Rahu was born, and from Krodha, again, a lot of daughters she had, Brigi, Braganda, Hari, all this. So from her, elephants, lions, tigers, leopards, deer species, all the deers, bears, okay, and horses, elephant Airavata, okay, Shweta, all these elephants, and then birds, all the cows, sorry, the cows are from there. So all those were born, okay, from Krodha's children. And then we have Prada, from Prada, Apsaras and Gandharvas were born, okay, Apsaras and Gandharvas were born. And then from Vishwa, there is no details in Mahabharata what her children's were. Uh, and then Vinata, we already know about Garuda and Aruna, but also there is others, Taksha, Varuni and Aruni. And then from Aruna, Sampati and Jatayu are born. Anyone know about Sampati and Jatayu?
I know that Jatayu is a Vacha that helped Rama find
Yeah,
Sita.
yeah, very good. Yes, Sampati as well. You will hear both of them in Mahabharata, sorry, in Ramayana. Okay. And then from Kapila, all the cows were born, and some Gandharvas and Apsaras. And from Muni, a lot of Gandharvas, all the Gandharvas were born. Here, the main one again, you will hear in Mahabharata is Chitraratha. You will hear about him few times. He is the Gandharvas leader. He becomes a Gandharvas leader. And then Kadru, we already heard about all the snakes that were born. Shesha or Ananta is the first one, Vasuki, and then we heard about Takshaka, and there are many others, thousands of them, right? So those were Kashyapa's wife and the children, they were born. And then Vaishampayana also says that here, if you look, where do I go? So Bhrigu was born from Bhrigu, okay. Shukracharya, we already know that Chavana, we heard about Chavana Rishi, right? From Chavana, Aruva was born. Aruva has son Rishika, Rishika's son Jamadagni. Jamadagni had 5 children: Vasu, Vishwavasu, Bhradnyu, and Bhritvakanva, and Rama. Rama becomes known as Parashurama. Okay, so here is Parashurama, born from Jamadagni. He comes from Bhrigu's race. And then Bhrigu's race also, we have Shukracharya. Shukracharya is Asura's guru. Okay, Shukracharya is Asura's guru. Similarly, from Pulastha, we have Yakshas and Rakshasas were born. Okay, also Rishi Agastya was born of him, and then Vishravas was born. Okay, those are Rishis born, and from Vishravas, Kubera was born. Kubera, other Yakshas, they were born. And here you see that Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, all were born here. Okay, they were born in this race. Okay, and then if we come to Angirasa, Angirasa had Brahaspati as his son. Brahaspati becomes Guru, Deva Guru. He is the deity's Guru. And from Brahaspati, Bharadwaja was born. And there's a story later in the Mahabharata. We will hear in about 2-3 sessions about Kacha. Okay, there is a story about Kacha. And then from Bharadwaja, Drona was born, I said yesterday. right? From Drona, Ashwatthama was born. Those are the key characters. So, and then he also talks about here, right hand side. Okay, so we have from Brahma 11 Rudras were born. Rudra is Shiva Swarupa. Okay, Shiva Swarupa. 11 Rudras were born. Okay, Sthanu is the main here, Shiva, Maheshwara, and there are 11 Rudras born. And then we have, he also talks about Vasus, Ashta Vasus born. Okay, from Daksha's son Vasu, daughter Vasu, who married to Dharma, Vasus were born. Okay, they were so Vasus, Adityas, Rudras, plus Prajapati. In some cases, they say Ashwini, Ashwins. So they are total 33. They are called 33 main deities for Hindus. You might have heard about people saying Hindus have 33 crore deities, right? So you might have heard Hindus have so many deities and gods. It's not 33 crore. The Sanskrit word koti means type or group. Okay, there are 33 different types of groups of deities. Okay, so those 33 are Adityas, 12 Adityas, 11 Rudras, 8 Vasus, and then Prajapati or Ashwinis. Okay, so those are total making up 33. And then he also explains about Vasus were born, and then he also explains about other from others, like I mean these names, for example, here mentioned in some other Puranas and other things. So in some cases, these names of 13 Kashyapa's wives names, so there are different names are mentioned. Okay, so Kasta, Arishta, Surasa, Ila, Krodavasha, Tamra, Surabhi, Puloma, all these names. Okay, some of the different names are mentioned. But here, Vaishampana also says, from Brahma, others were born, like Adharma, Dharma. Dharma, we already said he married Daksha's daughters. Kama, Krodha, all these were from Adharma, Bhaya, Mahabhaya, Mrityu. Mrityu is death. Okay, all those were born. From Dharma, Sama, which is peace, Kama, desire, Harsha were born, and like that. So he also says from Brahma, all the Vedas were born. Okay, and then we look at other rishis from Brahma at later time. Okay, so he explains these creations. So that's what Vaishampana explains initially in terms of all the deities and everyone that's created. So in short, from Kashyapa, most of the people originated. Okay, the deities, daityas, suras, asuras, the animals, all originated from Kashyapa. Okay, and then there are others also, but mainly everything originated from Kashyapa. Okay, so that's what Vaishampayana summarizes, saying those were the main ones. And then next he starts explaining in Mahabharata characters who is who. Okay, I think yesterday someone asked, okay, so which Rakshasa or Asura became Duryodhana, which ones became Arjuna or whoever it is. Okay, so he starts explaining that. We probably will look at that in the next sessions. Okay. Yes, Deepthi and Co.
In Dwapara Yuga, Rama came from Vishnu's avatar for Ramayana.
Yeah.
And then in Treta Yuga,
in
Krishna.
Treta Yuga, Rama came. In Dwapara, Krishna came.
Oh, okay. And in Kali Yuga, who will come from Vishnu's avatar?
The Purana says there is a Kalki avatar. There is an avatar called Kalki, which comes at the end of Kali Yuga. But again, just to be clear, Yugas, I said there is Krita, Treta, Dwapara, Kali, 4 Yugas, right? The Ramayana and this cycle repeats. Kali Yuga happens, and then after that, again Krita Yuga comes. Okay, and then Treta, Dwapara, Kali. Like this cycle continues. The 4 Yugas together are called Mahayugas. Okay, like that, Yugas keeps repeating. Okay, such 1,000 such repetitions of Mahayugas, 4 yugas together, consists of Brahma's one day. Okay. And at the end of Brahma's one day, everything goes. Okay. Where at the end of the yuga, normally there is a small pralaya. Okay. There is different types of pralaya or dissolutions. Okay. The first one is called daily pralaya, which is happens every day, people getting birth and death. Okay. So there is always daily. And then there is at the end of the yugas, Kali Yuga, end of the yuga, or Dwapara Yuga, end of the yuga, there is a mass ending of the creatures. Okay. But not everybody. The one who are good will survive in those things for the next yuga. But at the end of 1,000 yugas, Brahma's end of day, Brahma goes to sleep. Okay. And that sleep is again another 1,000 yugas, 1,000 Mahayugas, sorry. Okay. That Mahayuga, when Brahma sleeps, it is complete darkness. There is nothing remains. Okay. All this ends. And then Brahma again wakes up and then starts creation once again. Okay. Like that happens. Brahma's day, one day is called Kalpa. Okay. So we will look at that probably in another session. So Ramayana happened in, so like that I said Mahayugas, right? So Ramayana happened in 24th Mahayuga. Okay, in Treta Yuga, in the 24th Mahayuga cycle, Ramayana happened. Currently we are in 28th. Okay, Krishna came in 28th Dwapara Yuga of the current Kalpa.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? It's confusing. I'll talk about the yugas and Mahayugas in some other session. We get 10 minutes. Any questions? No? Okay, let me go back to what I was sharing yesterday. Okay, which is on eating habits, right? All the things I said yesterday. So I said yesterday, first thing I said was you need to wash before you eat anything. Who did wash today before eating anything? Who did wash your at least hands? Okay, okay. Good. At least a lot of you are raising hand, which is very good. Somebody's listening. Very good. Okay, let's look at what else is there. Okay, so what Shastra says is we should never eat salt taking it in hand, palm like this. Okay, never eat salt like that. And also any food that has hair in it should not eat because hair is considered unclean. Okay, and we should not eat at Shraddha of an enemy. Okay, Shraddha is when it is a food offered for ancestors. Okay, and I think I said this yesterday, should eat silently. Okay, not talking, lot of talking when you're eating. Okay, don't need to discuss all the world events and without making any noise. And also important, should eat in a seated posture. Always should be sitting, never walking. Okay, eating plate in your hand and then walking all around is not allowed. Oops, it's becoming very difficult, isn't it? A lot of rules coming now. Okay, and then it should says that one should eat with a piece of upper garment. So you should never take out upper garments, boys especially. Okay, so never eat without upper garment. And it should also says that never should eat off someone else's plate. Oops, who eats from others' plate? Who takes it from others' plate? Okay, you should never eat from others' plate. And also you should never eat when someone else is looking at it. That means you should share with them first and then only you should eat.
What if a mother eats from a child's plate?
Oops. Normally it says that you should never eat. I don't know whether what mother eating from child's plate leftovers. I don't know about that specific one. Really don't know. Good question, but I don't know. I need to do some more research, probably specific. I haven't seen anything specific to that. Then it also says, I think I said this yesterday, when you cook something special like pies or sweet or anything like that, you should never cook it for your own self. That's what it says. What does that mean is you should always offer it to the deities or ancestors or to brahmanas or to guests. Okay, so then only one should eat. And then the next one is when you eat, you should face towards eastwards. Okay, facing east, one should eat, it says. And then there are different benefits of different directions, which you can read later. And I said already, one should never eat without sharing with others. Okay, and then the other important thing is again, anything that's remaining after eating, one should throw away far away. And the last one is again washing your face, everything. Okay, it says all the holes in the upper body. Okay, that's what it says. So I just wrote it as nose, ears, navel, hands, everything you need to wash with along with hands. Okay, you need to wash after eating. Okay, the next one is just looking at the guests. When somebody comes to our house, what we need to do, okay? The important thing is when guest comes, again, we need to give them to wash their feet. We need to give them to drink. And the important thing is they should never go hungry, okay? We should always feed them. And when guests come, we should never do any distinction or any separation in the way sometimes people do. Okay, when some guests come in, our children will get better chocolate than the guests' children, right? Should never do those kind of distinctions. It should be equal. Okay. And then the next one I just want to quickly cover is the seniors. What we need to do for the elders. As I said, seniors doesn't mean the old people only, it's the elders. Okay, whoever is elder in your, you should always respect them. Okay, and you should always offer them a seat. You should never stand when is you should never sit when a elder person is standing. Okay, and if you are following an elder, if you are going with an elderly person, you should always go behind them and never should walk ahead of them, it says, because if they fall behind, then you know if you are behind them, so you can help them if they are about to wobbly falling off, you can hold on to them. And the other one important thing is you should never call them by their name and also use pronoun you. So here the difficult thing is in English, you always call them you. Okay, whether it's elders or youngers, you always call them you, right? But in our Indian languages, we have different words for the elders and younger ones, right? So elders, you should always respectfully, you should call them, okay? And you should never call them by their names. And you should never insult anybody, any elders, okay? Never insult. And you should always do the service to them. If parents, gurus, brahmanas ask you to do something, never say no. Okay. Again, always respect your parents. That's important. I think we have a couple of hands raised. Tulsi, Adi.
So, in the food one, what happens if the guest was uninvited and they decided to stay for dinner?
Yeah, still feed them. You have to uninvited person is actually called the guest. Okay. Okay, so if the person comes uninvited, so here again, in the olden days, what used to happen was people used to come without invitation. Okay, these days you have to send a WhatsApp message before you come. Okay, you have to create a WhatsApp group, invite them, then you will know who is coming, who is not coming, then you prepare the food. Okay, in the olden days, people used to come uninvited and feeding them, and after feeding them, anything that's left out, if one eats, that's equivalent to eating amrita. Okay, that's considered after feeding the guest. If one eats, that's considered as eating amrita, anything that's left over. Okay, you may go hungry, but guests should never go hungry. That applies to whether you are in your house or you are taking a guest or you're seeing a guest in someone else's house or some other places, wherever you are. You always feed others before you eat. Shri,
You said that we should not eat like cow or meat because like they're religious, some of them. But like, what about fish?
fish also is not allowed. Fish
Okay.
also is not allowed. There are again, normally fish it says not allowed. Mahabharata doesn't go into details on fish eating, but Manusmriti talks about it. It says fish is not allowed. There are certain types of fish it says allowed if it is used in a sacrifice and offered and all these kind of things. But then again, sacrificing flesh or animals is not allowed in Kali Yuga.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ram, Vaishnavi.
What if you went to someone's house as a guest and they don't know about they should not keep us hungry and they should offer us food first? What should we do?
You just wait for them to serve the food. you can't do much, right? So it's they should do it. Okay, but if someone doesn't do, you can't ask them to force them to feed you first because you are the guest. Okay, even when you are guest, you have your own maryada, it is called. Okay, so your own duties as well. Okay, guest should behave like a guest, right? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Dhriti, Deepthi, or is it Nishta?
Um, if our parents are here and their parents are in India, how are they going to take care of their parents?
It's not, may not be physically, they will be taking care of their parents, okay, but they will be doing something to make sure their parents are looked after.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay,
Thank you. Bye.
that's their duties as well, everyone's duty to make sure even if you're not around, you should be making sure they are looked after. For example, Yudhishthira and everybody went to forest, they made sure that Kunti is looked after when they went to forest. When Rama went to forest, he made sure that his parents were looked after by his brothers. Who is this Lenovo Tab M10?
What if they are fasting? The guests. What if
So-
the guest is fasting?
So fasting again, there are different types of fasting. Okay, if they are not taking any food, again offering is your duty. If they don't take and they have reasons for it, then that's fine. Anjay,
What if you do call your parents their name?
what if
You do call your parents their name.
you should not call your parents by their name? You should not call your parents or any elders actually by name. But here what happens is we do call normally everyone's by name, right? At least when you are in not normal settings like in office or school where you might be calling people's by name. Okay, but at least outside give the respect where you can do give where you can give respect, try to give the respect. At least at home, you definitely can give respect to your parents, right?
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? Okay, we have few more, but we probably will look at that in the next week's session. So I think I sent a message around asking if anyone interested. There are few responses saying you probably want to. Do you want to have these classes, these sessions weekly?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's do one thing. Let's have this on Fridays. Okay, same login should work. If any changes, I will send in WhatsApp message. Otherwise, we will have it on Fridays only. Okay. And then we will see you next Friday. Till that time, there won't be any classes. Okay. Shall we close today?
Happy New Year.
Thank you all.
So,
Thank you.
do
Bye.
we have a session every
Thank
Friday?
you.
Yeah, let's have it every Friday. Let's have it every Friday. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you
Namaskar,
all.
Sudeep.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Thank you.